Good morning, good noontime, good afternoon, good noon 30, good day, good midday, good evening, good later day, good night, good midnight, whatever time of day it is. I want you to know I'm Lynn Ferguson, and I approve this message. I'm Lynn Ferguson, also known as Lynn Tennyson, your host here on the show, Lynn Spins. It's a podcast dedicated to Black life in America and all over the world in music. Today, I want to do a part 2 for my most recent episode, which featured, a diagnosis of disingenuousness and dishonesty for the real Joshua B. So, if you don't know, if you haven't seen that first video, I would definitely watch it so you can catch up with what's going on here, because it's a lot. But long story short, this guy who put out his story about catching 5 venereal diseases, 2 or 3 of which are permanent, I do believe, because he did title the video Living with Herpes, H.I.V, and Syphilis. But he did end up catching, according to this, divulgence in his video, Trichomoniasis and Chlamydia as well. So I simply got into the comment section and I agreed with someone's comment, basically pointing out the seriousness of reporting situations like this when someone under deceptive circumstances infects you with something like this, like especially something permanent, some things that are permanent. So, you would think that that would be an okay statement to make and it wouldn't get someone's wrath, toward you, directed toward you. But here we are. He made a whole video about me. And the video itself wasn't super condemning, but his way of addressing me when I tried to correct his misrepresentations of me in his comment section, and the very fact that he did block me in his comment section and I didn't say anything negative about him, I didn't do anything to him. All I wanted to do was, correct his misrepresentations of the situation and of me. And he sat here and got an attitude. Instead of responding to my comment and, as a reply, he made a whole nother comment, pinned it to the top of the video. And the comment was basically like, honey, I don't need clout from you. And is that because I made the first sentence of my comment, it was a pretty long comment, like 4 paragraphs. But the first sentence of it was, while I appreciate the clout, despite the fact that it's given in a deceptive way, under deceptive circumstances, but he couldn't even understand the first sentence because he was like, his response was like, oh, I don't need clout from you, sweetheart. Sweetheart, I don't need clout from you. And I'm like, and then he went on to be, super, what's the word? Super, catty and nasty and sassy and shit like that in the comment section, accusing me of, basically having some negative intentions and being some kind of negative person or something who he completely understands and he can read and all this other stuff. I understand this is not Fable Hour. Like, ridiculous. But yeah, so that's basically what the situation is. But I wanted to make this video to more specifically kind of call out things like that. Because what has happened in this situation, so he's decided that he's going to, basically act from a, in a very deceptive way, a very dishonest way, and he's going to make it seem as though I was trying to attack him in some negative way or something like that, or like I was coming from some negative place when I was just trying to protect the community and myself, because we have to deal with these dirty ass niggas out here when you put them hoes out back into the streets and you don't tell us about what the fuck just left your bedroom. But, I want to make this a conversation about how people go about getting famous, how people go about making content and getting a following and making money and producing content and things. I have been very annoyed with YouTube, and I've been so happy about that, even though it's been very annoying to go through it because I didn't really want to pull away from YouTube. It took a lot. It took YouTube basically being bad for me to finally start going back to nostalgic movies and TV shows from when I was a kid that I've been wanting to watch and things like that. So right now I'm watching Beauty and the Beast, and then I'm going to watch Belle's Enchanted Christmas, which is the first Beauty and the Beast movie I saw. It's the second one, if you didn't know, but what do you call it? I'm going to watch the first one first and then the second one because I'm not as familiar with the first one as I should be. But I'm also watching Game of Thrones, or excuse me, House of the Dragon right now, rewatching it. It takes so long for them to come out with these seasons, understandably, that, you forget a whole bunch of the shit that happened in the first and the last one. So I'm currently on episode 1 of that, but season 1, episode 1. But I've been noticing when I get on YouTube to watch a video or whatever the case is that YouTube does not respect my feed. It will consistently put out things that are like Republican shit and like racist shit and all kinds of other shit that I don't watch, that I should have by now programmed the algorithm to recognize that I don't watch. And it will deliberately send me something that's like literally right up the opposite person of me's alley and not my alley. Because it's like, this is not stuff I would watch. So why are you recommending? But what I've also noticed is that there are a lot of the same videos. So like, if I watch a video about veneers, everything in my feed for the next month will be about veneers. And it will not just be about veneers, but it will be people recycling the same talking points, the same footage, the same TikTok videos with just different editing. And it's like, if the editing is different. And it's just like, I'm sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of it. Because it's like, it's one thing I do like to see different videos on the same topic. That is something that I naturally do. I think most of us do that, because we want to see people get different people's opinions on it. But we live in this era that is so wanna be perfect, on everything. So we're fixing everything and we're revamping everything. And millennials didn't know how to do it, so we're fixing the workplace. Boomers don't know how to do it, so we're fixing politics. This, and that. And it's like, a lot of this stuff, this is not me advocating against change. Like, we need a lot of these changes. And I would say 70+% of the changes that have been made are wonderful. But like, there comes a point where you're going too far, and then you're like, you're pushing things, you're swinging the pendulum all the way over to the other direction instead of in the middle where it's supposed to be, where people have freedoms and no one is discriminated against in one partiality or another. But people are just really weird out here nowadays. That's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I'm noticing people are like wanting to be right and politically correct and all these other things to correct, and just and, all the end things that we're supposed to be, nowadays, accepting, open-minded, to the point at which people are pretending, because everybody is not open-minded. They're just not, So like, a lot of people are out here pretending, and it results in recycled content, recycled talking points, recycled movements. And it's just like, it's too much. So like, more specifically, it's just, what I want to talk about is just like the things that people are out here doing. A lot of the time, it's not what they believe in. It's not what they believe in. It's not how they actually feel about things. It's not what they actually think about the things that they're saying. So like, this guy in particular, this Joshua B. You sat here, if you're watching this, you sat here and you made content out of lies. Initially, your video came from a perspective I could understand and appreciate. You are talking about things sensitive, pertaining to yourself. It's not in the third. So you're going to be more defensive. I understand that. But when you start deleting comments, when you start blocking people's channels, when they have not done anything to attack you and things like that, then you make them want to attack you. And then you make them, you make it into a situation where it's very clear that you are not a good person. You're not a good person. You're deceitful, and you're trying to do whatever it takes to get content from whatever you can, squeezing blood from a rock. Just squeezing content out of anything in your personal life. And it's like, that's cool. But like, this was supposed to be your professional life. This is not how you handle things professionally. I'm not in your personal life. You made your personal life professional by putting it on YouTube and talking about it. I didn't criticize anything about your decisions. I didn't talk about, and that was another thing too. Like, his whole thing was basically he was upset because he felt like me telling him, or me putting out this opinion, agreeing with someone in the opinion that, you should be telling people, like the police or something, when someone's going around and spreading diseases, deceptively and things like that. His whole reason for being upset with that, he kept coming back to, I was this and I was that in the moment. You don't know what it's like to go through that in that moment. And this happened when I was back in 2020. And, how dare you basically expect me to just have it all together and have it all figured out. And as a woman who has literally made podcast episodes about being sexually assaulted, being raped multiple times throughout my life, a multitude of times throughout my life, and never not really handling those things right, not being seen as the perfect victim, not being, keen to report it immediately. One incident I didn't report until just recently, which is a decade or so or more after it happened. You're barking up the wrong tree with that. You're just barking up the wrong tree with that. As a woman who's going through all that and has dealt with all of that, and very recently, you are barking up the wrong tree. You really think that I'm sitting here trying to make it seem like I'm judging you in that moment? I'm judging you now. And I wasn't even judging you. I just judged the action, the determination, the inaction, basically. And I said, in general, people like this upset me because I don't like when people like this do this, or people do things like this because yada, yada, yada. So I wasn't even attacking you. But okay, let's say I was judging you. Okay, I'm judging you now. You made that video a month ago. I commented to that video 3 days ago. I'm judging you in the present because he started the video off before he even got into the story with, I'm not going after this person and I'm not going to reveal this person's information because it's not about that and all this other stuff. And, I'm not that kind of person. And, all this holier than thou bullshit. When really, when you listen to the story, you find out you don't even know who the motherfucker is. So it's like, okay, that's why you ain't saying who it is, because you don't know who the motherfucker is. But you trying to come up. And I'm saying this now, realizing that this is yet another example of him using things to make content to make himself look a certain way that he's not. Because he tried to start out the video by making it seem as though he's just a better person. And that's why he didn't tell this information. When really, if you listen to the story, you find out he actually don't know who the motherfucker is. Because just as he deceived him about the sexual status, his sexual venereal status, he deceived him about his information and his name and his identity. Go figure. And it's just crazy because it's just like, I didn't do anything. Even in the video that I made after I realized he was clearly being deceitful, and I felt very much so upset that he did this. And mind you guys, he had 98 followers when I went and watched his video. I was empathizing. I was feeling his pain because I've been through similar situations. I didn't get a positive test, and I've had many tests since the last time I had sex, which was like 7 years ago. But what do you call it? I've had scares. I've had scares where, I knew I wasn't having sex the way I was supposed to be. I was not having protected sex the way I was supposed to be. And I was scared that I caught something. So I was on the couch, like biting my nails and like, going through my own stories and shit like that, empathizing with this nigga. And then he got the nerve to sit up here and do me like this, like I was doing something negative to him. Fuck his bitch ass. So, I don't play them ho-stro games. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out here, you in these streets playing stupid ass fucking games, and they look like you won some stupid ass prizes, about 5 of them. Trichomoniasis, fucking Chlamydia, H.I.V, Herpes. and syphilis. Like, I mean, damn. The fuck? And apparently didn't catch the syphilis quickly enough because why are you still living with it? I don't know. You know? But it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm really making fun of somebody for getting all these things. But you got to watch what you do to people because not everybody is cute. Not everybody is cute. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't want to be as cute as I'm going to be in this video. And I know I haven't been completely cute as of T minus 10 seconds ago. But I'm going to keep it cute going forward. But like, you know, I had me a little moment. But not everybody is cute. Not everybody's going to respect your shit like that. So you need to watch what you do out here in these streets with these people because it's ridiculous out here. People are out here pretending to be Republicans and pretending that they don't give a damn about Black people and that they don't actually know the history of Black people facing discrimination and racism and things like that. They want to go out here and be a Candace Owens, talking about some flat earth, this, that, and the third. Girl, getting flamed by Don Lemon. Ridiculous. And then, you know, you got people out here who make stories off of their followers. Like, I was about to subscribe to this nigga's channel. I was going to subscribe. I was going to support. I got to go ahead and end this video because my computer's about to die. But I was really, like, into the shit. Like, I was going to really try to get into the situation. And, like, you know, I was going to give one more video a chance because I was a little taken aback by the whole I'm not going to tell his name thing. But still, I was like, okay, whatever. And I was rooting for him when he was talking about I know a lot of y'all who going to come after me and, you know, you going to try to blame me for this and blame me for that. And I know what type of people y'all are. And I've made peace with all my stuff. I really felt that. Like, I really was sitting here. It just really pissed me off because I think a lot of times when people see people say stuff like, oh, you just chased a real fan off or something like that, I don't think they really believe that shit. I think they just think that somebody's just saying something so that they can support themselves. But it's like, you really did, dude. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I subscribed to your channel or I was about to. You know, definitively. But like, I was definitely going to give another video a chance and see if it really pulled me to the point where I was like, okay, let me subscribe. So, you know, and he don't need me. And that's what I was going to say earlier. He started off at 98 followers when I commented to this video and he responded to me. By the time he responded to me and made that video, he got 100 more followers, more than 100. So I just need y'all to know. And then I look at his TikTok and he got 17,000 followers. I have just as many followers on TikTok as I do on fucking YouTube. Less than 500. Well, I got less than 500 on YouTube and more than 500 on TikTok. But so you did all this for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Which is why I thanked him for the clout. But, you know, he couldn't even fucking understand that. And I'm like, okay, well, he can't even understand English. So I understand why he's getting confused about shit that people saying in the comments or putting in the comments. But whatever, you guys. Again, my name is Lynn Ferguson, also known as Lynn Tennyson, your host here on the show. And I welcome you next time. We jump in, Lynn's some bits.